Welcome to Random Roleplay. I'm Deven of TRG Network, and we're back with some more Planeswalkers goodness. This time with the start of a new arc that I could not decide the name of. Going with Moonwalkers, so if you hear something different, apologies. You're going with Moonwalkers. But that being said, this episode is set to be a much more chill one than the previous arc for the most part. There's going to be a lot of exposition in this episode, much like last episode, but with a lot less potential for death. Speaking of potential, let's talk about that hint, because it's definitely quite the hint this week, but I feel like it's going to be easily overlooked considering the mention of this character. But yes, the hint for this week is Rosie. You do find out something interesting about this character, so do hear that out. Think a little on it. But with that being said, I hope you all like the video, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We really need those. And that's pretty much it. So without further ado, on to the show.
And so, we return to Archmage Fellhandles' study at the city of Dargan. Last we left off, the party of Cassius the Tiefling, Arudim the Half-Orc, Naleek the Half-Elf, and Crantor the Gallataur were brokering a deal with an Abishai on behalf of Ves Neonza, in exchange for the Archmage's daughter. Upon returning to Fort Knucklebone, the party came to learn of the details to their agreement, much to their displeasure. Having to safely kidnap the child back, it takes Kosil at least a few days to complete his end of the bargain. In the meantime, the party decides to stay there at Fort Knucklebone as a way of keeping their enemies closer. Arudim entertains the idea of being employed by Kosil, which unnerves Cassius, and the two have some words before helping Leomore dispatch a pair of Abishai spies. Soon thereafter, Arudim and Crantor meet with Kosil about potential business relations, but it's all essentially to hold the peace until the entire party determines to call upon Archmage Fellhandles. His presence calls forth Kosil, who attempts to trap Fellhandles in Castor, but a counterspell and a plane shift away, and the group is back on Rieba. The party gets their first real night's sleep in days, and finally take a breath knowing the ash of Avernus won't be in the air. Now, I need everyone to mute.
Oh shit.
Cassius. You see very hazy sky. You can't quite tell if you're standing or if you're laying down. There seems to be no ground, but you are not falling or floating. The haze deepens into an orangish red, and you see fireballs starting to come out of the furthest most distance. They look as if they're coming straight at you, but you're too far to it to matter. As they get closer, the fire shooting towards you melts together and forms still words. Your ego has misguided you. You have slain my soldiers, it reads out. The words start to meld together and reform into other words. I saved you in your time of need. In my time of need, you slayed your comrades. They meld together again once more, and reform into a final set of words. Your comrades, your brethren, my soldiers. You soon will be called upon. Please continue to be my ear. And you wake up.
Oh, holy hell, I was there for too long.
You sit in the silence for what feels like eternity as the sun shines through your window in this very large, comfortable guest room, for lack of better terms. It almost seems like a bachelor pad in the way that it has several rooms installed into it. For clarity, this is the second time that you were spoken to directly by Zariel, one way or another. The first time was the morning you slayed the Avernus beforehand, when you were told you'd soon be joining them. And that was also the day before you suffered the alignment change. Just notes to put out.
I mean, to be fair, we did try to talk our way through. I mean, she struck first.
Is there anything in particular note you'd like to do with your morning? Or are you just going to...
Well, Cass didn't really have much time to do it while on Avernus, so if there's room for it, Cass will, with his steel longsword, he'll just kind of like practice stances, swings, the same kind of martial training that he had watched his brother and his brother's companions all do when he was a kid, and then he kind of grew up emulating. This is probably the nicest place I've stayed in my whole life, to be perfectly honest. I mean, Cass would ruminate at some point that the room that he's currently in is a lot nicer than anything he's ever really stayed in before. Even his own home, it was probably worse than this. Be very delicate not to break anything. God knows I can't afford to fix it. We don't need to be having an Uncle Buck situation here.
You'll have noticed as you woke up that Lucy was already out and about, actually probably found a cozy little spot on the nightstand or something nearby. If not, right in the pillow next to you. Very fresh air and very comfortable habitat compared to the last few days has been exactly what Lucy needed, if anything.
Cass, we'll walk over and just kind of check on her, see how she's doing, make sure she's got plenty of water to drink.
You provide her some water, and she certainly takes it, but this isn't some sort of act of desperation like it was well almost. Lucy's back to her regular old self.
I'm sorry about that, old girl. Thank you for sticking with me. We've got to see if we can't get you to the pantry. I'm sure they got something nice in there for you. Maybe a carrot.
Eventually, You're going to hear a knock at the door as you're kind of chatting away. I assume you actually are talking out loud to Lucy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, then yes, you will have heard a knock at the door. It would kind of be like a hesitant knock, a very timid one, even.
Who's there?
I'm Quark. I'm one of Archmage Fellhandles' assistants. I was sent to come see how your morning's going, if you needed anything. It's my third time checking.
Wait, what?
It's my third time checking. I was starting to think something might have been wrong. Is everything okay?
Cassius just has this moment of crystallizing self-reflection of, oh shit, that wasn't a dream. How long you been standing out there, mate?
I knocked earlier, about a half hour ago, and then again an hour before that. I've only been out here for a few minutes until I heard you talking.
Well, hell.
But if everything's okay, I'll just be on my way. Do hit the orb next to the door if you need anything. As you hear his voice kind of fading off, and you see there actually is kind of like this crystal orb that sits right next to the door handle.
I would love to take him up on that offer, but I fear if I touch that, I'm gonna break it. And I can't afford to get that fixed. Cass will extend his hand out to Lucy and just kind of ask, how you doing, girl?
Kind of just skitter up on your hand and eventually up. Well, actually, do you have any shirt on right now? It doesn't matter. But skitter up your arm. You're used to rat claws. Mouse claws.
I mean, she probably would have gone up inside the sleeve anyway.
Okay, no, if you did have your shirt and sleeve on, I just didn't know how Cassius preferably slept or not. If Cassius was the type to just pass out in his clothes, or if he actually had bedwear.
Depends.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so yeah, she skitters up to you, and I think this is where we'll jump over. We'll actually go a little bit earlier in the day. You'll hear a knock on your door shortly after, and you'll actually have been given a room with slightly different makeout. It will actually have been kind of customized on the fly, but they more or less use hay and other soft materials to try and make a centaur appropriate bed, to where you can lean to your side and also forward without it hurting either portion of your spine.
Good. 5-star review.
Especially because they did it so quick. You guys weren't home 10 minutes before you guys were given your rooms, and this room is very clear it was prepared for you in some capacity.
It pays to stay at the Archmage Holiday Inn.
Oh, the words. How appropriate they actually are. Because, the knock on your door. You'll hear distantly, of course being my source. Hey, Crantor.
He would have been meditating, so there'd be incense lit and some candles. He'd be on the floor, eyes closed, to have his one eye open and just say enter.
I can't. It's a one-way lock. You have to open it if I don't have a key.
We'll just roll his eyes and get up and unlock it.
Sorry. How all the rooms are designed here. You guys notice that this portion of the Archmage's tower is actually very inn-like, in a very advanced sense of the terms, where they have orbs in which you can call assistants and keys that will lock the doors. from the outside. Yeah, Naleek will eventually walk in. Oh wow, you're already up and about with your morning, huh?
Yes, it pays to get up early and meditate with the dawn. It helps keep my mind clear and focused.
Let's see. Yeah,
You
I
should
do
join me.
sometimes. But I got a lot on my mind at the moment. I mean, aside from the whole trip. Are you ready to go talk to the Archmage by any chance? I want to ask him a few things.
Yes, I was planning on doing it shortly. Before we go, it seems like you are unsettled. I find that paradoxically, when you have a lot on your mind, meditation is the best way to be focused on what really is important in front of you. It might help you see things you've missed. Join me.
No,
I'll lead him through a quick, half-hour meditation.
I just want to collect my pay, be on our way, you know? Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Oh, absolutely. Hang on. That's a 17 on the insight.
To his
Garbage roll.
2 deception. Oh yeah, no, he very clearly has some personal questions he wants to ask the Archmage. And he knows that everyone kind of has personal questions for the Archmage, so he's just anxious to get to that and get through that, because you know he's not really about confrontation.
That's what I'm here for.
Unfortunately, you can't beat up anxiety.
No, you can't, but you can learn to control it with meditation, and he'll just put his arm on his shoulder and just, push him down. Crantor would not. He would know his strength,
Exactly.
but he would use force.
I know, it's all for the my friend. So yeah,
The jape.
You guys have a meditation, and eventually you can tell that, as you're meditating on it, thinking is how Naleek reacted. The same expression he had on his face when he said, just collecting his pay and go, is the same look he had on his face when he asked you about going to see the All-Knowing soon.
What is bothering you about this, Naleek? Tell me.
It's just being told that there's someone out there who can tell you whatever you want to know. Yeah, I'm sure there's a price, and I'm sure it's not good. But I had a really good friend in camp, and he really didn't have the most wisdom to him. So when he decided to just go out on the world on his own, just disappear as he did, it's honestly been one of the things that have plagued me most, even more so than looking for approval from my family, which I've come to really not care for all that much anymore, because I've come to see my own worth without them. It just means my goals are all the more aligned now in terms of trying to get some closure with Carrick.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think about where it puts you. You weren't home for but a few minutes before someone came up and tried to rip you away from it again. So the last thing I want to do is try and delay you that time with your tribe all the more.
4 minutes, 35 seconds. 4 minutes, 35 seconds, yes. Not that I'm still bitter about it or anything.
I got boomed. Yeah, whatever that means. I don't think that it's right to keep you from it, but that's what got me to thinking, what if we were to get your people to leave Mindafel? Maybe...
To go see this all-knowing Sybil? I don't recall what it was. Do you remember what it was called, Naleek?
The name of the individual was the All-Knowing. Apparently they're a mind flayer, fortune teller.
Yes, that's right. I was sworn it started with an S. Oh well.
Oh, the place is Sigil.
Sigil, okay.
But that's a whole nother plane in a way. Do you know anything about Sigil? Because I barely know much about it. All I know is it's the center of the Outlands.
I can roll something to tell if I do with my plane abilities.
You can roll an Arcana check with
advantage since I'm a planar?
Fine, regular. I was going to give you disadvantage, but we'll just say it'll be a regular Arcana check, because this really is some obscure shit.
Alright, that's going to be 16.
Okay. Yeah, you know that it is... Sigil is known as the center of the multiverse. It is a donut-shaped city that floats atop an endlessly tall spire that is the center of the Outlands. It is what gives the cosmology the name Great Wheel Cosmology. Or at least that's what leads it to being depicted as such in modern times.
I love that. Many questions. All good.
Is that my thing?
In character, Crantor's eyes will just like glaze over, knowing what he knows, and just it's a place that defies all logic, and relay what he knows.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And the thing is, I'm not sure how to really get there. So, that's what I wanted to ask the Archmage about, was how can we pull that off? Do they know a way to get to Sigil? Do they know somebody who knows a way? Like, that's my next course of action, but I understand where you want to go in terms of where you wanted to head back home or something like that. Like I said before, you've been away more than long enough.
He'll hold a hand up at that. Just as long as the one who attacked my people is still out there, the child of Cord and Cannon is still out there, and the unknown threat of Paige, I can't go home until my people are safe. As to if they should leave Mendefall, I've been considering that as well. I just don't know of a place that they'd be safe.
Okay, so I actually didn't get much sleep because I was thinking a lot about this. You mentioned that Kosil told you Gallataur from Celestia, right?
Yes.
Then that could be it. We can migrate, at the very least, your tribe back to Celestia. They can be a Celestia nomadic tribe. Sorry, I'm a little trippy. This is forgive
it's
me.
insomnia. It does that to you.
If somebody told me, or at least suggested to me, that I upheave my whole family and take them to another plane of existence, even if it was something like Arborea or Bitopia, I would still be like, how dare you? So please forgive me, Crantor. And you could tell that Naleek is like he's almost stepping out of his role as his friend and like almost back to how he was when he first met you, in terms of like trying to give you the respect of like not trying to alter your tribe's entire lives. But I think that if we were to maybe get that trio of elves that brought us back to Rieba from Celestia, maybe if they were to migrate your tribe to Celestia, they could come to find comfort, they could come to find growth there.
There is wisdom in that. Breathe in the incense deeper. It'll help soothe your nerves.
Right.
It'll help relax. Like I showed you. I see the merit in that, but I also do not want my tribe to be trapped outside of this plane. It needs to be their decision. It can't just be my own.
You're right.
I can present it the option to them, but I do not wish to completely dictate this to them.
So, do you know Sending now?
I do not believe it.
I remember you were trying to learn it, but you told me that you weren't able to use level 3 spell slots.
I do have that. You're right.
Shit, did we
Didn't
never
add
determine
any.
your spells? Oh, fuck!
No, we didn't.
Oh, fuck! Okay, so that's where we cut away and move on.
And Crantor just looks like ashamed.
No. This was entirely the intent, right? The whole scene written about this, goddammit. You're about to go through the process of understanding you know it now, okay? Off screen, Naleek's teaching you how to use it, which you can technically do now. And so, we move on over now, finally, to the lad, the other tribal chief.
You forgot his name, didn't you?
No. Yeah, it was Arudim. Sheesh, fine, take the wind out of the sails. I was trying to give him a big old... Try so hard, man. Okay, no. And, yeah... Arudim Muzov, the Undying, the tribal chief of the Storm's Eye, rises from his slumber. Okay, now, yeah, you wake up in this pretty cozy bed. You're not used to waking up in a bed. You know, you sleep in a forest your whole life, kind of.
He's pretty much only used to pelts and various things that they've purchased by selling things that they've killed.
Yes, and despite this very large and luxurious room, still feels so small in comparison to the freedom that is the open wilderness.
Because I only need to sleep for 4 hours.
Oh yeah, you're probably up late, I'd imagine.
No, he would probably go to bed at the same time. He's just early at the crack of dawn up.
Aye.
So the minute he wakes up, he begins talking to himself in Orcish, and he is going to begin training. He's going to start a workout. He does push-ups, sit-ups. He's going to attempt to meditate and channel his inner being In Orcish, he's just going to repeat over and over and over again, "You're better than him. You are better than him. You are better than him. You are better than him. You're better than him. You're better than him." And he just keeps going for hours and hours and hours. He's working out and just refusing to take any sort of break, refusing to stop in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't really know if his room is next to the others, doesn't really care. He's going to run and run up the wall and, like, kick off of it and do some acrobatic shit.
I imagine during the silenced bouts of the meditation, Naleek and Crantor are having, they're just hearing go, God, what is that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Just hearing Orcish over and over, but they can't speak Orcish, so they have no idea what he's saying. He doesn't really yell or anything. He's just saying it to himself as a way to, like, just focus that rage inside of him. He takes the opportunity of having a pillow. He's going to take his knife, stab it to the wall, and he's just going to start using the pillow as, like, a practice dummy for punching and kicking.
Nice. It will be deep into this training sorts, late in the morning, where you're finally going to hear a knock at the door. Excuse me, Mr. Bizarre?
In Orcish, he just, like, because he's in the zone, he's still in, in the Orcish mindset, so he just goes, "What?" in Orcish.
And in Orcish he'll go, "Oh, apologies, the Archmage is ready to see everyone when they are." In I wouldn't say very, but it was definitely accented Orcish, as this, which you can only determine as some sort of sea folk, based on their voice alone.
In Orcish, he responds, "Surprised somebody would care to learn my people's tongue."
Oh, well, yes, it's a beautiful language.
Don't lie. He just takes the knife and pillow out of the wall, and he puts it back where he found him, gets dressed, puts on his clothes, and he walks out the door after splashing himself with his water canteen.
Mm-hmm. Hello. And you see a very meek young Triton with quote-unquote spiky hair, which is more so just like frills, been kind of broken off from his head. He's dressed in some very...
On a scale of 1 to 10, how castory does he look?
He looks very much like an apprentice to a mage, yes.
You don't look him up and down. Artem kind of smiles, and he's just like, "Okay, I get the picture. You're one of the magic types. Got it."
Yeah, yes, I studied directly under Archmage Fellhandles.
Well, he's strong. Good taste in hirelings, he says, dusting his clothes off, and some of the ashes from Avernus just get dusted into the air.
Oh, dear.
Don't worry. You get used to it. Good luck on your, apprenticing.
Thank you. Well, let me lead you to the library. He's still very...
He follows... Unnerved. There's no need to be so unnerved. I'm not going to do anything. I wasn't hired to kill you. He pats him on the shoulder.
That's so reassuring.
Besides, who would hire somebody to kill their own apprentice? Ass backwards.
Yes. 20 episodes later, this Archmage is hiring you to heal his apprentice.
He's so goddamn annoying.
Yeah, I just can't stand him.
He's so nasally. I don't know if it's part of his species to where he has mucus in his nose all the time, but oh my god! And Arden just goes, "Dude, what the fuck?"
5,000 gold, shut the fuck up. Okay. No. And so he leads you in.
Thinks very hard.
Eventually. I imagine before all of this would occur, as it's late in the morning for both Cassius and Arudim, Crantor and Naleek will have finished up their meditation and eventually gone to see the Archmage in his study, but would have been redirected by a few assistants and apprentices to the library, where they know that Fellhandles intends on meeting them. And Cassius, you will eventually have someone else aside from Quirk come to... And you, a much more reserved individual, a little bit older. He looked like a sea elf. It would have been a little bit later in the morning, so I imagine you probably would have been a little bit more ready to go.
Yeah, Cassius would have done his exercises, his routines, and using prestidigitation to kind of clean his clothes off and make himself look semi-presentable, considering his shirt is still, well, perforated is a good word for it.
Oh, yeah. one thing else with Arudim I need to cover. Arudim, I believe Arcana is the check that you've taken.
It was Arcana, and now I can uncheck it because I finished a long rest.
Yeah, and
So
go ahead, change that.
I no longer am proficient with that, and I can no longer speak Infernal.
Yes. So what ability are you going to take instead of Arcana when you complete a long rest?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna put my point into nature because currently Arudim's main focus is reincarnation for that guy.
Okie dokie then. Alright, so back. All right.
His persuasion is hella high, so he can haggle the fuck out of people.
And so, yeah, we go back to Cassius, who is being escorted to the library as well, and at this point you all will be convening in what is a very large, 3/4 round library. That is about 3 bookshelves high, each bookshelf having about 2 feet of space in between because of how large some of the books on said shelves can be. In the furthest corner is a very large L-shaped desk, which has an assortment of papers and collections on it, with Archmage Fellhandles sitting at it.
Cassius will point out, and he's going to speak in common first. Holy hell, it would take me the entire eternity of this plane to be able to read all this. By the way, Arudim, and then he's going to switch to Infernal, and he's going to say, Oi, when we get a chance, something I should probably talk to you about.
Arudim looks at you and then looks at his his hands, and he's like, "Oh, right. I can't exactly do that anymore."
Oh, right.
Wears off after about 24 hours.
Oh,
At least I think so.
that's a neat little trick.
I need another corpse in order to learn something else.
Is that why you're so obsessed with the corpse the first day we met? Says Naleek from kind of a bit deeper into the chamber with him and Crantor kind
Well,
of just...
considering I was already under the influence of the plane, yes, that was definitely a huge reason. I wanted to get some sort of tactical advantage against the rest of you to make sure you couldn't lie to me. But I trust you all, obviously, but that was...
It's just not in my nature to lie.
He just looks at you incredulously.
Eventually, Archmage Fellhandles gets up and makes his way over towards you all. Just, well, hello everybody. He's kind of like rubbing his eyes and kind of like brushing his hair out of his face a little, which is very obviously unkempt.
Arudim moves his hair and some of the water from his water skin drips off of it.
By the way, you need help with that, mate.
Oh yeah, sure.
He'll prestidigitate him in a much more presentable look.
So you're taking the sweat and stuff off him, right? Where are you putting it?
That is a very, very good point.
Prestidigitation specifically says it can just clean things, so it just kind of disappears.
It doesn't cleaning doesn't imply it just dissolves, because when you clean something by like sweeping it up or mopping it up, the dirt is being pulled up onto another thing, such as a broom or a mop. So I imagine if you're sweeping it off your body, you're sweeping it down to the ground or something. It doesn't just disappear.
But magic.
Exactly, but that's convenient magic. That's fairy tale magic.
Convenient fairy. Boy, we're playing D&D.
Yeah, where there's rules to magic, objective rulings to magic, for the most part.
Look at Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Is this the part where Cassius reveals he has absolutely zero manners and is just a huge dick?
Yeah, because I imagine you just swept it off right onto the floor without thinking twice about it, because you didn't actually say anything about it.
Arudim just assumes it disappears. He doesn't know how magic works. Or at least he didn't study the prestidigitation cantrip.
Yeah, so he just swept it right off the floor.
He's planning to fight an Arcana off, and he's like, how is it going to use prestidigitation against me? We're going to move on to Finger of Death and study that.
Yeah, I love it. I imagine like Miramore is just walking up as you sweep the dirt and sweat off of Arudim right onto the ground. Oh.
Just like,
Good morning.
oh, right, sorry about that.
And you see
Probably worse.
Archmage Fellhandles, he's kind of just like shooing his hand at it on the floor, and it scoots each time he shoots his hand.
It just goes.
Yep. Take care of that, you see, and then you see like a couple of apprentices like start scooping it up. It's just like a floating mesh of dirt, ash, and sweat.
You guys will see Cassius mutter under his breath, I knew I was going to embarrass myself. I knew it.
Meanwhile, Crantor is just in the corner, just sipping tea, all refined. Tiny glasses.
Naleek is red in the face.
With pinky out.
Of course. Leg crossed over, sitting in a recliner somehow.
I imagine, yeah, you guys were sitting over by the desk with Archmage Fellhandles when he got up to go, and you kind of just were taking your time as this happened. With the two.
Where the hell did he get those little glasses? Has he had those the whole time? We just never
The real
noticed.
question is where I got the smoking jacket.
The glasses! I forgot the little tiny glasses from like episode 3.
So Arudim looks over, sees Crantor with tiny glasses.
I imagine he does the full finger lick page turn thing.
Oh, he absolutely does.
Okay, so Fellhandle leads Cassius and Arudim over to the desk with Naleek and Crantor, who are sitting, I guess, at the guest table that is next to this large L-shaped desk.
Not the kiddie table.
And it actually has very large, cozy seats. Crantor, obviously, you kind of had to make your own, but this is... Sitting on your own legs is nothing for your people. In fact, it's preferred. Chairs don't exist for your kind. And it's better that way.
Not
Chairs
really.
are weak.
I want Crantor to be in a giant, high-backed leather chair.
I imagine it wouldn't even be a chair. It would just be like a propped-up satellite thing for him to just step over and rest his belly on. Just enough for where he doesn't have to hold himself on his legs.
No, it's a couch.
Oh.
Even better. A couch works.
A big giant pillow.
You know what? Yeah, let's flavor it with it. It is essentially a love seat right next to this large, I want to say kind of coffee table with 3 other cushioned seats there as well. Crantor obviously has the whole couch and is very much taking it over entirely. Naleek has 1 chair and the other 2 obviously go to you, almost as if it was made for you. No, that's me saying that as the DM for flavoring it on the spot like that. Archmage Memories, it's alright, so... I imagine, out of the few questions that was asked before you all left, you'll be expecting some answers. Kind of looking your direction, Cassius.
To be perfectly honest, yes.
And,
It was the whole driving force of me accepting this.
I
Hope for the best, brace for the worst.
wish I had better news for you. It's better than nothing, but this is far from satisfactory. So, while you were gone, as soon as I got back, first I adjusted to the time shift, and then I ended up hiring a Whoa, I'm sorry to cut you off. Time shift, Naleek says.
I knew it.
Yes. We took too long in the astral plane on the way to the 9 Hells. It's the first month of the new year.
For perspective, how long is that?
About 2 months. It was the 11th month when you all departed.
2 months.
We were only there 4 days. Yes, the 2 months had already passed by the time we arrived. The time we spent in the astral plane was roughly 2 months because I took the time to make sure you all get guided properly and did not stray or get lost.
So we were in the astral plane for 2 months, not the infernal plane then.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
well,
explains-
honestly, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we were only there 4 days. That would have been... Oh man, that would have been trippy. Yes, no, you were there for 4 days. The most recent 4 days you were there. So I adjusted to those issues and tended to my more immediate problems. But it also put me in more of a panic to wonder what happened to Leona. Because she's been gone for months now, when put in perspective, so it makes me wonder what has come of her. But Kosil seems... And it clicks for you guys. Because when talking to Kosil, he said undo the transaction of yesteryear. Which means he was implying at that point in time it had already been some time since the kidnapping had occurred, even though it was literally right when you guys were requested for the job, which was just about a week before you came.
So what does that mean?
No, I'm just tying up the loose ends. Like it was hinted that you guys were already into the next year because.
Oh.
Yeah, when Kosil was talking, that just no one caught it when he said it. I felt the need to bring this up
because I
because
was he made a while back, but it was literally a deal he made, quote unquote, last year.
Yes.
Cheeky motherfucker.
Yeah. To tell you what I was trying to tell you, Cassius. Oh my god. It is okay. Cassius, I hired a Yugoloth to investigate your circumstances. To investigate your missing sister's circumstances. I eventually came to learn She once made a deal with the devil.
Which one? Arudim just crosses his arms.
Some random devil, I don't know. It's not one that was very notable, and it was one that she could not keep. Apparently, she was abducted. That because of it.
Arudim just, like, fucking face palms immediately.
And of course...
holding the bridge of his nose, like, are you fucking kidding me? He says it in Orcish.
And of course, Ves Neonza was employed.
So you're telling me that my comrade here, his problem is the exact same as yours?
It is extremely similar, yes, and it was rather irksome, because one, I paid very good money to have a Yugoloth inspect this situation, and if I had just gone about it a little differently, I could have come to these conclusions myself. So that was a little irksome, but that's beside any point of relevancy, and it's a very similar tale here, and it makes me wonder, again, like the question you immediately asked, I made a deal with the devil should not keep. We don't know who this devil is, we don't know how powerful this devil was, and apparently if she's been abducted to the third layer of the Nine Hells, that devil has ties.
You'll just see Cassius just sitting there, his eyes closed, taking it all in.
Naleek's hands are pressed together in front of his face, like almost like he's trying to stay so still he's not seen, because he just doesn't know how to act within this
I want to
tension.
make a quick roll. Anybody that wants to can insight it.
Oh, immediately. I'm gonna use roll 20
Absolutely.
through it.
You know what? I will too.
I mean,
Hey!
There it is. Oh. Alright, so...
both of you will actually notice that he is doing everything in his power to control unbridled rage right now. Because the man who kidnapped his sister was literally within arm's reach.
Arudim is gonna look to Fellhand. That's his name, right?
Miramore Fellhandle. I'll drop it in chat.
Fellhandle. Got it.
Kosil called him by his first name, but almost everyone else around you is referred to him as Archmage Miramore or Archmage Fellhandle. Up to you whether or not you want to use that honorific.
He's just gonna use Fellhandle.
Yep, okay. The most
Fellhandle.
Yes.
In terms of the value of people that don't keep their bargains, do you know what they would value? More souls, or what do they deal in? What would it take to trade with them? Because obviously, either we're out of our depth again, and we won't be able to get either of them back by fighting our way through, even though strength is our strength. We need to either find something that they want more than them to trade with, or we need to go and mount a large assault.
You've pretty much said it. Unfortunately, this is the circumstance you're backed into with devils, especially of that power. You either make a deal with them for something they want, which is usually your soul in some capacity, or your services in some binding manner.
What was the name of the Rakshasa again?
Kosil.
Just Arudim mutters under his breath, Kosil, bastard.
God, you guys didn't call me out. I'm Naleek now.
I don't actually notice it because I've got it all set to just names only. Sorry.
No worries. That's fine. It's more so for the stream only anyways.
Arudim just crosses his arms. Kosil made me an offer, and he seemed very, very angry that we left.
Yes, but he also let us leave. Noticed. Miramore says, he kind of works up. When I had to make sure you all got in contact to use the spell, him and Leomore easily could have acted. I'm not going to say that they could have done anything deadly in that time, but they definitely could have made it to where it wouldn't have been so easy to leave. They let us leave in some capacity. And that's just trademark Kosil, because he always leads his prey into a false sense of security.
Well then, he's already failed.
Has he?
The thing is, I don't get comfortable. I can't. I don't trust anything, and I never will. Especially when it deals with the Nine Hells, and a cat whose wrists are twisted backwards.
Yeah, those Rakshasa are pretty
Who has
hard
his
to look
ego shoved so far up his ass, he thinks he's good enough to even come close to trying to bribe and tame me. He's a disgrace and a disgusting creature.
Careful there, Arudim.
Archmage.
You sound like a foul-mouthed tiefling that I know.
Fellhandle stands
He just
up.
looks at he looks at you, he reaches through his bag and shows you a mirror.
I'd be the one right there.
Fellhandle stands up and just, listen to me. You guys were probably in a lot more danger than you.
Oh, no, the sense of dread was palpable.
I understand.
Tell me, how'd you guys get in there? You guys were in his quarters. Were you invited in? Did you even fight anybody?
No.
Oh, yes, we did.
Well, we fought 2 people, then
Outside.
a Yagnoloth showed up, teleported in front of all of us, and said, hey, whoa, if you're here for Kosil, he's been expecting you. Come, let's talk.
Did you guys fight Mesoloths or Chain Devils?
Yes.
No, under his employ.
Oh.
We fought Mezel? No.
Yeah,
I
we
believe
did.
it was Mezolas. Yeah.
Cassius
No, yes, they
points
were
to his...
Mezeloth.
The only
because
person who would know this is Arudim.
The
Cassius
chain
points to his
devils
shirt.
were in the battlefield, weren't they?
This is...
I don't know what kind of fiends they was, but they wasn't using no chains. Cassius points to his shirt. They was using tridents, mate.
Yes, then there's Mesoloths. He essentially brought in his weak men for you guys to break through easier. How quick did the Yagnoloth, Leomore, right?
Yes, that one.
How quickly did he show up? And just for a reminder's sake, he literally showed up seconds into the fight.
Yeah, like Arudim just goes, it took me about 5 seconds to kill somebody, and, well, the rest of them were making easy fodder, and then suddenly, boop, he appeared. It's like if you're saying that they gave us the weak ones,
Roll me an insight check really quick, Arudim.
he's still going to say this. If you're saying they gave us the weak ones, then it sounds like they underestimated us because, well, we took care of them a lot faster than they probably anticipated, and so he most likely had to show up sooner.
And to be perfectly
Unless
fair,
that's
they
exactly
did
what he
most-
was anticipating.
You said that's a insight, right?
Yes.
That's a 19 on the die. That's a 27.
Okay, yeah, you good, fam. You can tell, actually, it just kind of clicked for you as you're saying that. Those spine devils that ended up flying off, those were supposed to be the scouts that reported to him. But you could still see them when Leomore showed up.
Okay, but what does that mean, though?
The implication with that being, especially with your check, you can tell, it means it was a setup. Though it was made to look like you guys were whipping ass and he had to show up to call parlay. So you guys felt more comfortable with the situation thinking you had more control.
Funny story about that one, mate. Boy, boys, you remember that thump we heard right before we left to make the exchange?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I might have had a word with Grandma about that one.
What about
Oh,
it?
him. So what are you talking about?
Cassius will first look over at Arudim to answer. Well, you remember this, right, mate? And he'll lift up his shirt showing the scar.
Yes, I do. Your rather unusual sudden connection with Zariel.
I will say, do not assume that the Mesoloth was killed by the fire, because that was just a jape kind of thing. The fireball did hit the fort, but that was farther from the battlefield.
Cassius believes. In his head, he believes.
You got it. Just
Watch him next fucking combat. They say, "You thought I died." He like stabs you in the back. Aha!
Straight out of Shadow of Mordor, the Nemesis system. It's like, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you this time.
Yeah, try and catch me, Princey.
Fellhandles. Okay, so then walk me through it. All right, so Leomore led you all inside. Did you go straight to Kosil then, or did he leave you somewhere?
No, he took us straight to Kosil at that time.
Okay.
That time, yes.
And what happened there?
We were introduced to Kosil. Well, I was tired and under the plane's influence still, so...
Well,
No, I think at that point
No,
we was rid of it.
Oh wait, no, was I
Yeah,
was I
you were
free of
right.
it at that point?
no, but no,
My
we can
apologies, my
for
mind
brevity's sake,
is
we'll sum it up.
jumbled. Yeah, we just sum it up like, yeah, this is the shit that went down.
Well, no, I still
And
want to go.
Arudim-
I still want to go bit by bit. I'm just saying we're going to sum up the part where you guys made the deal for the contract and went to go to the Abishai's
Right, and
deal.
again, Arudim... Actually, really quick, can Arudim make a copy of the contract from memory?
If you want, but you can summon your own copy already. Any of you guys
Oh,
can because
shit.
you signed it.
Cool, I'm gonna bring up the contract, and I'm gonna show it to him.
All right, yeah. So he sits there and he reels through it, and
Arudim just goes, "You can summon it similar to your sword."
he looks it over a few times. He's like, "Okay, this is pretty coastal." He
Let me guess,
He
it's a
played it-
treat to make you feel comfortable again?
partially, yes. No, this deal was very clear cut. Like he looks. You see, Archmage Fellhandles looks extremely perplexed as he sets the contract down. He's like, He really did just make this easy. Aside from playing with you guys about the time period and not mentioning how long it would take, he's just...
I might have something to do with that. He had this little trick where he liked to read people's minds, and so I just kind of tried to keep him distracted. I'm not going to utter what I was thinking here, because, well, it might make Crantor blush. He is a pure lad.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to knock you off.
Arudim just looks to Crantor, looks to you like, I'm so confused on what your definition of pure is.
So is Crantor. He just looks at him like with an eyebrow raised, just like, what?
And I was like, I'm not trying to knock you off your block here, but I think this may have just been playing into what you mentioned earlier, in the sense that he was trying to get Arudim to work for him.
I will say, he made a very compelling argument, but I don't take orders from outer planar beings who think they're better than me. Rule number 1, don't think you can own me. The last person who did that got banished.
Alright, so the Abishai, you brokered this deal, and that's essentially what resulted in you getting the kid. Okay, so right after that, is that when you guys called me? Or did something else occur in that time?
We had a bit of a conversation. And then I had the realization of the possibility of getting back your son via reincarnation. He would keep all of his memories and everything. The only thing that would change is his physical form.
Honestly, I appreciate the gesture from you all, but make no mistake about it. I will be able to bring him back, and in truer fashion. I have a friend across the seas who can help me out with this.
Arudim just kind of makes a sigh of relief. Again, I'm very sorry for my failure.
Listen, both me and Koss knew what he was getting himself into, and if I didn't want him to go, he would not have. So if anybody's going to feel guilty, it should be me. But that's neither here nor
The most important thing I need to ask you is this. He wanted to stop us from leaving, chose not to, and his entire purpose from the moment we got onto his territory was to lull us into a false sense of security and to recruit me and possibly Crantor. My question is, are we really that valuable to him?
If he's put in that effort, then yes. What other notable... Naleek, you guys
he offered food, he offered drinks.
Naleek
we chose not to drink them, obviously.
Naleek's going to speak up. He's like, don't forget the spies.
The spies, yes. The Akashai spies?
Yeah, there was a white one. When we were all talking in our room, Leomore came bumbling in, grappling the white one, and had us help him.
The ones that I saw that were invisible, do you think they planted them?
Leomore puts his face in his hands for a solid moment. He's working with Abishai.
And you know that for a fact?
Yes,
the errand that we did for him in this contract, then, it was false? It was...
No. Black Abishai, specifically. It's an exchange situation of sorts. He's working with somebody, and they're essentially his employees, the Abishai, and they are being lent to Kosil. As for the white Abishai, I have no idea. Those ones can't turn invisible.
On their own.
So then, what are you saying? That they were imposters?
It's more plants. Was there anything that led to this spy situation?
I noticed a sound behind us as we were walking to talk about our success of delivering the goods.
That's it. When you noticed that, once they became aware that you noticed it, they tried planting the white Abishai so you wouldn't know about the black ones in their employ. It makes sense now, because the assassin...
Are you saying Black Abishai can turn invisible?
Yes, they can hide in the shadows. So long as they are immersed in the shadows, they turn invisible. And so his room is very... And now it all makes sense. You guys know that that Kosil's domain was very dimly lit, so that means all of it was shadows. You know that you guys caught the Black Abishai in the middle of being invisible, but you never actually saw the white one invisible. You only ever saw it grappled. When you told him about the spy the first time, Leomore was very confused, which he had never expressed the entire time you were there otherwise. And when you mentioned the spy to Kosil after the white Abishai incident, Kosil was very unnerved, which again was very unlike him the entire time, because he wasn't in control of that situation. It makes sense. His employee was discovered by you guys, and he tried making a cover-up, and you still found him out anyways.
So I was right the whole time. This lad doesn't like surrendering control. That would explain why he didn't quite like me a whole lot.
Miramore's
Well, no. What I don't understand is, if he didn't feel... He wasn't lying then when he felt he was in control, or out of control. Is that what I'm getting at here? That he, even though he planned this and hid the Black Abishai from us, he still felt nervous or insecure about something. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, because Alright, if I'm getting this right, you all discovered a supposed spy and brought their attention to it. You then had the incident with the White Abishai and took them down. You then found out you were being watched by another one and discovered it directly to be a Black Abishai, which you then took out, and then brought that to Kosil's attention, which he was even more unnerved with.
So I suppose he was disappointed that his eyes and ears of invisibility were taken out.
Not only that, he was more... the way it sounded to me is that he tried covering up a mistake, and his cover-up didn't work. It
backfired.
Yes.
So he thought that we would inevitably piece it together that they were hired by him.
Yes, which is why he went through the extra layer to cover it up, make it look like they were spies.
I see. So it was all still just a ploy to try to cover up a mistake, specifically that mistake, to make it seem like we did something good and to keep suspicion away from himself, to further his ploy of getting me and Crantor under his employ.
Zariel knows he don't want nothing to do with me, that's for damn sure.
Oh no,
He sure as hell ain't gonna tell nobody.
What I've come to learn recently is that there is essentially an effort to overthrow Zariel building in Avernus. Of course, there have been many before, but this seems to be
You don't say. Just Arudim showing his notes of all the people who's like, man, fuck Zariel.
It's not that prominent of a place.
No, but he's met like 3 people who are like, Zariel will fall. And
yes,
like,
in your specific
man.
trip, which is what he's trying to play off of. Yes, there have been uprising before, of course, but this one seems to be relatively prominent, and Kosil has a lot of control over how that situation goes, with control over Fort Knucklebone and the distribution of infernal war machines.
Now, what do people in the plane, what did the devils gain from the destruction of Zariel? What is Zariel doing that prevents them from doing what they want?
If I were to observe, it's a matter of Zariel being a little too caught up in her own way in the Blood War, and people of Avernus want a different direction. The plane will always be soaked in blood from the Blood War, but before Zariel was a Bell, and it was a much more defensive and supplementary approach, where Zariel takes a much more offensive stance. She, quite frankly, is battle-hungry, and I'm sure many people, especially yourselves by now, know Zariel is a fallen angel, so she is driven by a certain sense of righteousness that wasn't exist in previous rulers of this layer, and that righteousness may not sit well with everyone on Avernus, especially because, as I'm sure you learned, Avernus isn't just simply devils.
No, it is much more. So let me ask this then. If Zariel falls, who picks up the mantle? Who assumes control over the entirety of Avernus after that happens? Tiamat?
I was just going to suggest the very same. My 2 main suggestions are Bel and Tiamat. But Tiamat, honestly, if you were to ask me from my perspective as a lowly mortal, Tiamat is too good for that kind of spot, and Tiamat wouldn't want to be the ruler of a layer. She wants to be a ruler of everything, from what I've come to understand.
I was about to say, but then again, that wouldn't stop her from taking a baby step, perhaps.
Yeah, so
what matters right now is that Tiamat and her forces want Zariel gone for one reason or another, and so do many others, and that is a problem, at least for now. And it's only slightly a problem, really.
I will say
Speak for yourself, mate.
Exactly. From my perspective, if any of you at all have any concerns towards this situation, it should be Cassius, for the sole reason that he probably gets power from her. But the rest of you, why would you have any reason to care? Unless you are 2 researchers of the Blood Forest. And he's like, starts getting all giddy. Blood Forest, Blood
Unless
War.
it involves a job, I don't really... Well, unless I could learn something tactics-wise from it. Perhaps I should give it a read. Anyway, Cass, I very much do care for you, my friend, and I care about your power source, though, to be fair, you wouldn't need to return on your debt if she were gone. meaning you would be spared whatever eternal battle she has for you. Unless you would like that eternal battle and you still want to keep good on it. I assume you do, due to your loyalty to her, and I understand it because she saved you and everything.
Cassius,
It's just that...
you get the flashes of your vision this morning.
Oh, believe me, I was already there, Advy.
Whatever your decision is, you can consider me your friend.
Funny you bring that up, mate. Funny you bring that up.
Oh?
So, let's just say without realizing it, she talked to me again.
Everyone looks at Cassius. By everyone, I mean the two NPCs.
What did she say?
To be fair, though, when we were on the battlefield, we did, at least I did, tried to save some of those devils. Second, the Aranyes that we fought, we tried to negotiate our way through that. She struck first.
Right. And I agree with that.
And from there on out, everything we killed was under Kosil's control, which he already stated that he didn't quite like Zariel, so that was personal, mate. So what is she on about killing her soldiers? I mean, yes, we killed one, but they struck first. What was I supposed to do? Let her kill me?
She didn't respect Zariel's name, right? You said that you were a chosen of Zariel, and you said to let us through, and she said, no, I'm going to stab you instead.
Because she was essentially trying to tell Cassius that he's putting too much stock in himself. She was a servant. She was loyal to Zariel. It was the one who killed her who was not. The one who helped you guys. Tozad and Jezgon.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Arudim in character. Whoops.
Yeah. I think that just gave Castor a new perspective out of character.
Whoops.
Now it's starting to make it sad.
To be fair, she still swung first. Warrior's honor. She
I
started
don't
it.
think Zariel cares about Warrior's honor right
I don't
now,
think
dude.
you're remembering the part where she originally made a deal with a verbal agreement for you guys to stand there and help them out with demons that you guys decided to not go with.
Yeah, because she was suspicious as fuck about it.
She turned around and said, I tire of this parlay, kill them all.
Yes, yes, because it was continued negotiations. Essentially, you, Cassius, said, all right, we're going to do this, and when you went to go inform everyone outside of Infernal, specifically Crantor and Naleek, they were like, I don't know about this, did you ever get any specifics? And then you questioned her about specifics, and then this is when she tired of the parlay. So if you had never questioned about specifics, things would have gone all well.
Cassius still considers this her fault.
I'm sure Cassius is. I just want to clarify for the players' perspectives. So that way you're not walking your characters into something you don't know.
I didn't even know that because Arudim, I don't think at the time Arudim spoke Infernal, did he?
He did, but he was also out of the loop because he was waiting in shadows to strike.
That's right, I was waiting and hiding, so I didn't know what was being said.
Yes, no, guys. I go back and watch the campaign to make sure of things that I write on. So I don't want to put words in your guys' mouth, but I do want to act off of your actions.
No! Cassius, you did a bad, oh no!
Yeah, you guys, remember, everything you do is permanent. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I didn't do it! No me!
Wait, I tried to negotiate, and I tried to work with her.
Yes, you did. But devils are
Listen,
devils.
we'll just all go to Celestia. Everything will be fine.
I like that idea.
Did Crantor say that in character?
He did.
Oh, then Naleek's like, I second that idea. We can go straight to Heart's Faith. It's real awesome. Lunia is very welcoming to all comers, even tieflings.
Arudim just kind of like sighs and he looks at the two of them. Honestly, with everything that's been happening to me, I feel like I need a vacation.
Second
Oh, it's
layer.
great. Great views.
The second layer is Mercuria. But yeah, it would be cool to take them up to Mercuria. Although, would they be able to?
I'm sure I can.
See the flames the moment I step foot on there.
No, you won't. Not in
Flash
Lumia,
it
at
back
least.
to what happened with Canon.
Just Arudim, I mean, you're not evil, so I think you're fine.
No.
I have a literal blood pact with a devil of the nine hells.
No worries,
Yeah.
guys.
And what politician doesn't?
Fair
You know
point.
what? Fair point, exactly.
And there's a lot of politics in Lunia, which is the layer that
Arudim
sees a lot of
looks
traffic.
at Crantor and Naleek like, I'm not wrong. What great leader, archmage, or politician doesn't have one of those?
Glances at Fellhandle.
And he's like,
Everyone altogether just does it.
Fellhandle, the
Arudim,
guy who straight
all
up...
of them, they hard look at the camera, then it just pans over to him going like, it's getting a little toasty in here.
Literally, the Archmage who just casually told you he hired a Yugoloth to get information for you.
Who studies
the
the Blood War?
Exactly.
All right, but yeah, getting back into Holly Sweet. Like, yes, no, it's funny you mentioned that because I wanted to go there. Just his And Naleek realized what he was about to start talking about as he kind of peers over to Crantor. He's like, just a visit. And he's like, well,
Can I make an insight on him?
you don't need to. You can tell that he was about to say out loud what you were talking about your tribe earlier, but it's not his business to put out there, so he kind of petered down.
Yeah. He'll
I
just
think
give him a wink at that.
I suppose our real issue here, me and Crantor are out of Kosil's grasp due to the contracts not being, like, double-sided or whatever.
Do you remember that Kosil told you he was going to send you guys each a contract by the time the child came? Yeah, not that it...
Right, we don't have to sign it, though.
Oh, of course, but it's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming, alright. So you said you could take care of the resurrection of your son. Do you... God, Kosil's there... your sister is in the 3rd layer of hell, and your daughter will be delivered to us sometime.
Yes.
I believe he said within
Alive
the next few
and
days.
unharmed, they specified.
Yes, the contract specifies so long as nothing has happened to them by whoever kidnapped. And that's... Listen, I appreciate you all and what you have done in terms of setting me up to get my daughter back, but honestly, I am still very unnerved by the whole situation and the circumstances that still surround it. So please, as far as you all are concerned, that job is done. You have no longer need to discuss it.
Cassius just gives him a very hard look, like, you think you need to convince me, really?
More so, this was his way, without trying to be outright rude, is to tell you guys to stop talking about his kid. His problem is his problem now. He doesn't want it to keep coming up, because it keeps stinging.
Well, So, Arudim, Crantor, Naleek, we need to talk about more immediate problems.
Like what?
Well, for starters,
Sister, obviously.
there's that.
I have a suggestion for that, but please continue.
We also have to consider the fact that I might be called upon at any moment.
I'm sorry. Literally any moment.
Like, midway through breakfast, sort of, any moment.
Well, she said, specifically mentioned, you will soon be called upon. Please continue to be my ear.
Alright.
So, does that mean you'll go where exactly? Would you be any closer to getting your sister in that regard? Could you make another deal with her?
Furthermore, is it really of Zariel's concern whether or not you find your sister? And which one takes more precedence to you?
To me? Personally, I want to find my sister.
No, I mean, what are you going to do if that ultimatum is pushed upon you?
The ultimatum of him needing to keep his promise or finding his sister?
Yes.
I don't think he'd really have a choice. If Zariel really did save his life, I don't think he gets a choice.
If Zariel could just outright control Cassius, then Cassius wouldn't be sitting here enjoying a chat. Cassius would be
I'm not
out
saying
in-
she would control him, I'm just saying, if she can grant him such immeasurable power, don't you think she'd have the ability to summon him to wherever she needs him to be instead of wherever he wants to go?
Here's how I think of it. Here's how I rationalize. I'm not used to big words.
It's alright.
She saved me knowing my situation. She used the plane to try to get a bit of a firm grasp on both you and me. And it was after I was already freed from it that I contacted her for the first time myself. I told her, to be perfectly honest, that kitty cat decides he wants to raise arms against her, that I would be all too happy to act as a champion. I mean, personal vendetta being what it is. And I told her, a debt will be paid. A life for a life. That was the exchange that I had with her when we were in
The
kitty cat
teleportation
house.
room?
Yes, that one. So, with that all in mind, if I was to think about it, she would call upon me if our dear kitty cat friend with the messed up paws decides that he's going to raise arms against her. She probably feels more than likely it's coming sooner rather than later, and well, frankly, I think we all have a bone to grind with him.
Most definitely.
Personally, I'd like to see how much it would hurt him to put his wrists on the right way.
Unfortunately, that's how their anatomy is naturally. Contort him in ways he could not move if he were to put his wrist, quote-unquote, right
Oh
side.
no, that's the point. I want it to hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, then just bend his fingers and claws back. That would be more accurate.
That sounds fun.
That's a good idea. We should write that down. Naleek, write that down.
Should we declaw him?
Writing.
Also a good idea. Write that one down too, Naleek.
Writing.
But until then, she did confirm, Cassius will summon the packed dagger and will look at Arudim. She's been using me as her eyes and ears, which means that in some small fashion, she knows what he's up to. If you follow my meaning.
So does that mean her message to you is a kind of a coaxing to keep doing what you're doing?
I don't know. There are a few ways to look at it. I mean, leave it
Why
to
can't
deified-
greater entities just be more direct?
Who knows?
I will
man?
say the fact that she said soon implies that you have some time. How much, we don't know, but there is some.
All right.
And then there's the question to be asked. She's a timeless being. Is it soon in times of my life, which could be in the next few years? Is it soon in times of hers, which could be the next millennia? God only knows.
Well, I mean, you would
Alright.
be dead by then, so it'd be your soul more appropriately.
All right, then here's
Sure,
my
she could find a use for
suggestion. Now he kind of jumps in. He's like, all right, then we're going to use your time as if it's yours and not hers. Because, it's your time. So, what we can do is find out where your sister is. Exactly. We can find out exactly what we want about her. Through the all-knowing. And Naleek kind of looks over to Fellhandles. You know anything about him? And Fellhandle kind of he sits up, lurching back, his eyes squints, he looks at you.
Are you about to ask me to go to Sigil?
Naleek kind of sits silent for a moment, looking around at everyone. Is like, I can't speak for everybody, but yes, we found out they're apparently in Sigil. So I want to go there, and Crantor seems to be willing to accompany me. And if this all-knowing is as good as what he says, then Cassius, you can find out exactly what you need to know, just like I do.
Well, remember what I said when we first met, here in this very building. Money is inconsequential to the price of information. If there's one thing I know, he's gonna want a price for it.
I know.
Cassius turns out his pockets, and aside from Lucy, I don't really got a whole lot of that, mate.
I don't care what I have to pay. Okay, this sounds like it's important enough for me. Okay, so if you want to go about a more arbitrary means of searching for, that's fine. But if there is going to literally be something called the All-Knowing, it's going to fall in my lap as I'm looking for something, then I just believe I'm going to do it. So, Archmage,
Well,
is there anything you know about this? Yes. Everything you've said is true, and absolutely, it does cost something great. I couldn't tell you what that is. I could barely tell you how to get to Sigil. And by the way, it's Sigil, not Sigil. Please do make notes of this, if you were to go there. Okay? Naleek seems a little kind of confused by that. The Archmage is like, but yes, the All-Knowing. They are a mind flayer fortune teller. They can see past, present, future. They can scry on anyone or anything. Time.
mind flayer. They're the squiddies what feed on your brain.
Yes, although this one is broken away from their brain long ago.
Oh, well, if he gets hungry for it, I'll be fine.
Yes, you would. Let's forget. The Archmage just straight up fires that shot. But
Oi, Arudim, I like him. He's got wit. We need to keep him.
be honest,
Arudim just looks at. Is he talking about the Archmage?
yeah.
No, Arudim's just gonna roll his eyes and he's gonna say, I guess. He's warming. I'm warming up to him a little bit.
Although I would prefer, for my own sanity, that we rest here for at least a couple days and make sure that the child is delivered safely.
I would
I'm aware that
appreciate.
the contract says that there will be, but we was hired to return her. We at least owe it to ourselves, if anything, to our own honor, to make sure that that child is delivered safely before we leave.
I'll be damned if I go back to my tribe with a failed mission.
Crantor, what say you?
Crantor just puts the book that's been upside down this whole time down. And
Upside down. Just like, what an angel. What a boy. Not a thought behind those eyes.
just like doing the pages backwards like it's one of those animos.
That joke's got layers.
No. Okay, it has layers for so many reasons.
I hurt. I hurt!
Animus. It's made by minotaurs
Exactly.
Oh, man.
and firbolgs.
Oh.
You just punched Advy right in the kidney with that one.
Good.
Kidney punch, and pause. Kidney punch.
An advocate for Moonga.
That's now-
Advocate for Moongas.
Oh, man. So Crantor sets this book down.
It's like a
It
children's
says how
coloring
to
book.
be sus.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Crantor agrees. I imagine Crantor agrees.
No,
Crantor
it's just how to
doesn't.
develop a true gaydar.
Oh my god. So yes, and
How to choose your husbando.
the Archmage.
Yes!
The Archmage is like, you all are blessed warriors, truly, because the contract does specify it will be delivered to you, which means if you all return to whence you came, my child could be delivered to you at that point.
Okay, but can we just talk about how it would be hilarious if that happened? Out of character for 2 seconds. Arudim, midway through a mission, he's about to stab a noble in the head, and just, baby. And he just goes like,
Kosil!
You all truly are blessed for this. So yes, do please feel free to stay here, make yourselves at home. Do feel free to wander about. You can use this library as you wish. I have a private study, so you'll need not be concerned about disturbing me. My assistants will be here to assist you, of course. That's what they do.
is that the,
I'm sorry, I'm not used to guests.
the Triton?
One of them, yes. Oh, you met Quark? Yes, he's quite the lad, isn't he? He's such a doll. He truly is. He tries so hard.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah,
he is not the best at his job. I do have better employees, but Quark is very passionate about his work, despite his nerves getting in the way of that sometimes.
He seems
Just hard
very
look at Naleek.
I feel like he should. I feel like he needs to relax.
Harder look at
He
Naleek.
does. He's very intimidated by you all. Ironically, by you most, Cassius. And no, it has nothing to do with your heritage. But
Let me guess, it's because he's so extroverted and outgoing.
That, and he looks very out of place. No offense. Cassius looks very normal.
I mean, to be fair, how far are we from Mo again?
Ragnrath? In Lasana Soul? That's the other side of the plane, boy. That's
Yeah.
a good that's a good month-long sail. If we were to go straight across the center.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Oh,
That's where I call home.
wow. Tiefling
Cass
from
looks
the
down
land
at
of
his
the
shirt.
land of the dwarves.
Cass just looks down at his shirt and goes, and right now I can already tell you there is one really pissed off old dwarf lady. I don't know how she knows. She just always knows.
Tell you something.
Arudim, scared, just kind of looks at him and just goes, "No, knows what?"
Fun fact, my nanny was a dwarf. Yes, they always know.
I'm sorry. What?
Answer
was
is
a
also confusion.
When I was a child, the nanny that would take care of me.
Oh, the
Was her name
parent.
Rosie?
The parent squared. Got it.
How'd you know?
Oh,
Is she about year
I've had to
high,
kill a lot of people
Yes.
gray hair,
and a lot of.
carries a ladle? You swear she's immortal. Makes a mean soup.
Yeah, that's the one. What?
Okay, she's just a god.
Is
At
she's
this
the
point.
one who ties our fates? Is this why we have so much in common?
You two, I feel like you don't need a nanny. I feel like the two of you need a therapist.
Oh man, you can
Crantor puts his tiny glasses back on.
And
Crantor,
Naleek-
please, for the love of all that is good in the world of creation, tell me you are a therapist.
I mean, a chief is nothing more than a therapist at the end of the day.
Thank you. You are exactly the true chief that I thought you were.
Naleek speaks. I was like, all right, so I'm not trying to just wrap everyone up into something, but does this not sound like something that you all would be willing to at least look into? Nothing says we have to pay whatever price there is, but we can't know.
Well, trust
unless we
me,
go.
there's a few questions I have, and I've been asking them for a very long time. If it truly is an all-knowing being, I'm very interested in seeing what this price that they're willing to sell this power for, this immense information.
Naleek looks right over to Cassius, very hard stare.
You worried he's gonna sell his soul again?
That's just it, mate. We know approximately where. I mean, let me rephrase this. I've got a more narrowed view on where she could be than I've ever had before, thanks to our friend here. I genuinely wonder if the price that he's going to ask is out of my realm. I mean, I've already had one person lay claim to my soul. What am I supposed to do, deadlock it?
I think you're looking into this a little too much. Honestly, it's...
To be fair,
I think...
there are a lot of interesting things people can ask for besides your soul.
You know what? That's a good point. Setting all that aside, Cassius, really think about what you have to go off of right now. Okay, this is your sister you're talking about. Apparently she's been missing now for a few more months than you realize. Okay? Yes, you know she's in the 3rd layer of hell, which means theoretically you can run through Avernus, find some way to this. You can go through this and find some way to the next layer. Despite all of the hostilities and enemies that you're going to have to go through to do so, despite how much on bad terms you're going to get with Zariel, just for a chance. Or you can go to someone who can quite literally provide you the answer transparently. Just find out what they may want for it.
Not opposed to at least hearing what they want. If the cost is within my realm to give, and wouldn't debilitate me in my end goal here, then I may consider it, but I will consider it at the time.
That sounds quite like you. You did come all this way just to hear out my request in more detail, without actually accepting it first.
The price of information, mate, the price of information.
But yes,
there's one other thing that I would like to talk to you about, since we tend to have that in common, but it's something entirely not related to this, and we could talk about this in our own time, so...
We can. We'll have a few days. But what I do have is good news for you if you all are truly considering going to Sigil. I must give you good news. I have 2 keys to Sigil myself. One is linked to a portal in Excelsior, which is the gate town between...
Excelsior?
Yes, Excelsior. It is...
The gatekeeper is named Stan.
No, it's not the gatekeeper's name. There's no gatekeeper. It's the gate town's name. Yes, one in Excelsior, which is the gate town between Celestia and the Outlands. And the other would be in Ribcage, which is the gate town between Bator and the Outlands. Bator being the 9 Hells.
Excelsior. That one. Yes, please.
Yes, you all were just talking of a vacation to Celestia, so that tells me that this is exactly what you would all want to do. So...
Looks to Cassius.
I'm not opposed to the idea.
Alright, question. Crantor, Naleek, do they have celestial beaches?
They do. In fact, the water is...
Oh my god, we have to go!
The oceans are made of, like, a sweet water that looks like red wine. It's crazy.
On the 3rd layer, my god, it was
I never
beautiful.
thought
you don't remember the
I
3rd
would
layer.
ever cry in my life again.
You vaguely... No, that's Venya. You had barely been to Venya. Well, no, you barely remember Venya. That was the one that things started getting hazy for you. That's the one that...
I had Naleek write it down for that exact reason.
Yes, and you'll know that the Don't worry. Yeah, and that's going to be a funny thing when you look back at those notes.
There's this thing I've been working on there, Mr. Fellhandle. You guys will notice that's the first time he's used somebody else's name other than your own.
Oh, boy.
Plus a title to boot, man.
Right? The moment he brought up Rosie, it's like, nope, respect him. He's lived through it too. So when we was on Avernus, I kind of brought her along accidentally, and he'll just kind of reach into his shirt and pull out Lucy. And I'm just kind of glad she survived, but there's something I'd like to do for her. I've heard tales in my trips of familiars. How would I do that?
Oh, boys, that's going to be... that's a conversation for later. We'll be discussing some things over the next couple of days. If you don't know much about familiars, then yes, you're going to have some lessons to learn.
I mean, I'm not exactly unfamiliar with summoning things, and summons his packed weapon. I mean, it just kind of happens innately.
Yes, but it's much more complicated than that. That's why I'm going to say we're going to have to talk about it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a lunch break. So we'll discuss more of your guys' vacation a little bit later.
Yeah, I did promise Lucy I'd get her some vegetables.
Right. Almost a little perplexed. Like, mouse, dude.
She is my friend, and she nearly died.
Understood. But yes, he's going to get up to go take a lunch break. From here on out, pretty much the next 2.5 days we're going to sum up, more or less, and you guys pretty much spend gallivanting this hotel-like domain of Archmage Miramore. You all learn that this is the private quarters that he houses, which is actually on the same property as the City Hall of Dargan, which is the capital, but he essentially has his own section of it all to himself and to his services. Goes to show how much prestige the city and country have come to hold him to. And yeah, you guys are more or less treated freely. I will say that any extensive detail we can get into off stream to plan for the next session, because this will be the day of that you guys were told the child will be coming. So it will be a very tense day indeed. Not certain how you all would spend your mornings, but Archmage Fellhandles will have essentially been cooped up in his library until everyone would have been notified at once that the teleportation circle has had a few people arrive in it. Those few people.
Arudim's gonna rush there.
Oh, Cassius would as well.
I imagine everybody rushes.
Fucking Naruto. You know what? No, Naruto speedrun.
Yeah, I will say Arudim probably gets there before everyone, as there will already be several mages and guards standing in, essentially surrounding the entire teleportation circle, which has a couple of chain devils, and in what looks like a basket of sorts, baby blankets and such rolled over. One of the chain devils holds out the basket. All of the rest of their arms, including the free arm of the one holding the child, are up, and they are the entire time waiting for you guys to come in. And so
Arudim is going to be unarmed. He doesn't take out a weapon or anything.
Yes, no.
He'll step forward, and he's going to call for the rest of them.
Yes, eventually, I will say Miramore was already here, probably through teleportation, but otherwise you arrived probably about 20-30 seconds before everyone else. Yes. Obviously, he waited for you all to arrive because the contract was with you guys, not him. And he knows how Kosil can play, so sure enough, he waits for you all to arrive, and Miramore specifically, all 4 of you are the ones who signed the contract, so I need all 4 of you to approach at the same time. I don't want Kosil to play any games with the situation.
Arudim's gonna look at his contract one more time and read through it.
Alright, essentially, yeah, it's at the points in the contract that it has a signature. It was signed by all 4 of you, and it's essentially clarifying that the child will be delivered to all 4 of you. So
we do all have to be together.
Yeah, and for all you know, there could be some sick implications if you weren't all together at the time of the delivery.
Oh!
Good call, Arudim. Good call.
Imagine if you all decided to go home after the job.
What's this baby head doing in my room?
Oh, I was hoping the implications would stay unspoken, but I mean, hey, let's fucking, yeah, baby limbs. Let's do it.
Arudim just is going to look at the others, and he's going to actually gesture for them to take hands, and he lifts one foot up like, I don't want to go fucking show-stopping, let's go.
The chain devil, as you guys are kind of getting close, slowly sets down the basket. He lifts up his hands, and the 3 chain devils start to light up and disappear on the teleportation circle once more. And everyone takes a sigh of relief.
I do not drop my guard. Immediately I scan the room for invisible things.
There are still a few people scanning the room. Most people drop the guard, but there are still a few mages scanning the room, and after a few
see
moments...
invisibility and shit like that?
Yeah, they're using see invisibility, detect magic, scrying. They're using several elements of divination.
I don't trust shit.
Yes, and no, as of right now, there's no reactions as if there may be some sort of trap or spy plan. And you guys notice the contract that you had pulled out burns up.
Whew, thank God. Alright.
Arudim.
Archmage Fellhandles is on his knees holding his child. Just sobbing it out, hugging her, and is getting...
Is it alive?
Oh yes, the child is alive. You can see this purple-skinned, brown-haired tiefling, same color hair as Miramore himself. Yes, from your perspective, all is well. He's sobbing, hugging, just literally on the floor.
I still don't trust anything. Is the baby a changeling?
Oh my God. The contract specified this was going to be...
I'm joking.
Okay, you got it. Now, I know the changeling part was a joke.
That's just my paranoid ass.
Yeah, the paranoid is like, no, this still isn't good enough. No, I get you. I completely understand the extra precautions because you don't want to be the player who gets got. Like, I know that feeling. You don't want to be the player who gets got.
Too many times because I'm stupid.
No, exactly. That's the thing, and you shouldn't feel that way because sometimes it works better for the series to get got. Arudim, sure enough, your paranoia is not baseless because after looking around, you see where the contract that you summoned before was had dissolved. Another one floats there, rolled up.
Motherfucker. Okay, he takes it and he takes a look at it. What does it say? Actually, you know what? Before he does, he's gonna step out of the room.
Cass will look over to Crantor.
He's gonna step out of the room, so just in case there's like a fucking explosive rune on it, he doesn't kill the baby.
Alright, so you open it up,
Mhm.
and there's the first part.
Oh golly.
And don't worry, it is actually typed out underneath the image, if you need that.
Okay, cool. I'm like, ugh.
But yes, do please read it out loud, even if Arudim does not.
The following contract offers you, blank, aka my name, Arudim, an opportunity from Kosil the Damning to find enlightenment for you and your people as a result of signing and upholding this contract. Price, you will be tasked with going to Sigil and acting as his representative in the selling of an artifact called the Claw of the Foolish to a group of Githyanki. They attempt to kill you, it will be your responsibility to dispatch them. In exchange per your initial request, you'll be provided truthful information about Naleek Iravor's history provided directly to me from someone close to him in life. A Zone of Truth spell cast by a spellcaster of your choice must join us to verify this. In concurrence with this, Ves Neonza and all of its affiliates will not be of any threat to the safety of me or my allies. Additionally, Ves Neonza will provide you a round trip to Limbo, during which Ves Neonza will treat you as they do their allies, as if you were a member of Ves Neonza, without you having to officially be one. It will be in this place that you will be able to face the mental trials that can lead you to an enlightened state of mind. It is here that you will learn the full history of orcs from the beginning of time until now. It is here that you will forge a new future for you and your people in a way no mere mortal could.
And here's the second page of it.
Oh no.
He is on you.
Your tribe will also be offered transportation in the manner above upon your request following your return. Upon their understanding of all this, they will no longer need your leadership. We can then open discussions again for you joining Ves Neonza, in which Kosil the Damning can begin assisting you in achieving your full potential. Voiding. If you sign this contract and fail to uphold your end of the bargain, then you and Kosil the Damning will have a one-on-one private discussion about your ineptitude. Failure to comply with this point forfeits the safety of you and your loved ones. Additionally, you are hereby notified that not signing this contract within 7 days forfeits the safety of you and your loved ones. You have 24 hours to notify Kosil the Damning of any modifications to this contract you'd like to negotiate, in which case he will rewrite the contract accordingly. Kosil the Damning looks forward to your response. He did say he would make you an offer you couldn't refuse. Sincerely, Kosil the Damning with a heart. This motherfucker, you're hereby notified that not signing this contract within 7 days additionally forfeits the safety of you and or your loved ones. So he's a bitch. Understood.
From the inside of the room, Cassius goes, I could have told you that one, mate.
No, he's going to say this in Orcish. So he's scared of me.
Wow, that's a takeaway.
He's still a half-orc.
So
There's still a lot of pride in there, okay? So he's desperate.
Cassius. While Arudim's reading this, you'll actually notice a note at your feet, rolled up.
Uh-oh! Oh, no!
This doesn't seem like Zario. She usually just talks to me directly into my head.
Oh, SpaghettiOs!
Do you pick it up?
Cass summons his packed weapon. Arudim, you still out there, mate?
Yeah.
I got another one here.
Arudim steps in. He's going to take a look at that one.
Arudim picks it up.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's gonna step outside and he's also going to look at it.
Cassius, are you with him?
Yeah, Cass will go with him.
All right.
Artem's actually going to hold him off. Artem's going to say, I don't really like the feeling that this gives me, and he holds up the piece of paper. Why don't you stay there? I'll scope it out first and then you come out, okay?
Right. I trust you, mate. But if I hear anything foul, I'm coming running.
Please do. I might die. And we all know what that does, and he says, chuckling to himself like, oh no, I'm so scared of dying.
All right, so...
All right.
He's gonna step outside and he's gonna unfurl it and read it, or look at it, or whatever it is. I'm sorry. Hold on.
You just made this, didn't you?
Nope! This was a plan! I came up with this yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? Because I originally planned a contract for Crantor, which Kosil could not really come up properly, and I figured Cassius would feel left out, so this would have been thrown in there, and that Mesoloth ain't happy with you, and that's why I had to specify earlier that canonically was not dead.
It says, I love how it says 3 holes.
Yep, because that's what they put in Cassius.
Yeah, before I punted him a good 60 feet.
Yeah, when he wasn't looking.
You just hear Arudim
Just
laughing hysterically outside.
He just Eldritch
He's just going,
punched him.
Cassius,
You all right out there, mate?
Cassius, you need to see this. He rolls up the scroll again, and he says, "You're not ready for this." Wait. Hold on. And he goes behind Cassius, outstretches his arm over his shoulder, takes the other one, and just unfurls it right in front of him.
Well, adding that little asshole to me list of vendettas.
Fuck off. Fuck off, 3 holes.
I had to make sure it was crooked and everything. It was just...
Worse. Mesoloth 3. Specifically Mesoloth 3.
That's who it was! It just happened to be.
I love how that's how he signed it. Like, he doesn't even want to sign his own, like, title or anything. No, he's just Mesoloth 3.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't want me knowing his name, because then I could summon him and slay him right then on the spot.
No, well, no, of course they don't use their true names. They use fake names, obviously.
I know, but it's just, his fake name is literally Mesoloth 3. It's just like...
I fucking love that. Okay. That's a lot of implication. Like, literally, there are devils out there who are specifically named Imp number 2. Imp number 2, I really wasn't feeling your energy today. You really need to up the ante on your evil screams.
I'm not gonna lie. For all the shit talking that I did to Kosil, and believe me, there was a lot of it, this kind of takes the wind out of me sails. Not gonna lie.
Crantor, Naleek, please come here.
Okay.
He wraps up the scroll again. He goes over to Crantor. He goes over to Naleek and Crantor. He uses his arms to, like, bring them into, like, kind of like a group huddle. He's like, okay, big tall one, reach up, grab him, put him over here, and small, come over here.
Actually, Naleek would be riding Crantor.
He would?
For speed.
But there were... Oh, I got you. Yeah, to come here and quickly got you. Oh, wow.
I'm sorry,
okay.
I'm sorry, my OTP just did what?
Nothing, Baka.
Oh my god, I fucking love Crantor with all my heart.
I can't with you all. I fucking can't with y'all, man.
Legendary Crantor.
It's like, let him slide off.
No, while he's still on your back, he just goes, look. He just unfurls it for both of them to see.
You
a
can't
small
be...
flower in Crantor's mane.
A small flower?
Just literally bloop. Just,
He just goes...
Yeah, be serious, man. That...
Cass is just walking out of the room. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. Swear to God, next time in there.
Hold on,
He's
hold
a-
on.
that's a
Wait, Archmage Fellhand.
Yes! He comes over with his
Ow.
child, sobbing.
Hey, Archmage Fellhand, how hard would you have to try to summon Mesoloth 3? He furls the paper.
What did you do?
Cassius pointed this Mesoloth so far. It was ridiculous. No, you know what? Arudim is going to go into his bag. He is going to pull out a paper and a quill, and he is going to draw the incident in question of Cassius fucking football punting this Mesoloth into the stratosphere.
Archmage Fellhandles. I imagine he just comes over sobbing, then looks over and just starts cackling. His child also starts cackling. This little 1-year-old just starts. No, I'm just kidding.
It does the evil. Okay, no. That is a thing. That is a thing that they can do, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, the baby's doing the evil laugh.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's horrific.
that is a thing that they can
It is.
do.
Yes, they can.
Found it.
Yes, we got it.
Evil laugh that the child can do.
All right, I'm gonna play this out loud. Let's hear it.
Diabolical.
Oh my God! He put his
The baby
arms
spent
up.
too long in the hells. Naleek, quick.
The baby.
Urgent.
The baby clenched their fists and looked at the ground, and I just can't.
That baby is going to be a Marvel supervillain.
That was baby Loki right there.
Oh my God, it's baby Loki.
Okay, so eventually you guys settle down. You guys end up going back to the lounge or the library or wherever you guys feel like really hanging out for the better part of the day until the evening comes along. And over the couple of days, you guys will have been prepped and informed, like, okay, so this is how you guys are going to get to Sigil. There is an associate of Archmage Fellhandle that you're going to have to meet up with in Excelsior, which you will be able to reach via ferry from Heart's Faith, which is the capital of Lunia, the first layer
One
of
with
Celestia.
wings or the one that is on the water?
It just clicked. Yes. Just to fuck with you. No. It is, yes, a ferry. It is a celestial ferry. In the sense that
Okay.
a ship to sail. Yeah, a ship to sail.
That actually doesn't answer the question. Okay.
But yes, so
She's only about a foot tall, but my God, can she lift?
So essentially, you are going to be transported via plane shift the evening of the child arriving to Lunia by Archmage Fellhandle. And from then, you guys are on your way. You guys, again, will have to go to Heart's Faith, the capital of Lunia. You'll have to catch a ferry from there to Excelsior. And you will have to meet up with an associate of Archmage Fellhandle there in Excelsior, who will then be able to use their key and Fellhandle's key, which he'll be providing you, to transport you to Sigil.
Before they go, Cass will visit the child, and he'll say, in common, not in infernal, because, well, I'm pretty sure the child's sick of that.
I love it.
That is a very fair thing to say.
He'll just kind of hold out his pinky. Wait there, little sis. Be good, yeah? I know. Us tieflings can tend to drive people up walls.
Kind of giving you that absent-minded baby stare, but reaches their hand out and just like hand pushed against your hand, and then little baby smile.
Yeah, you alright. You alright. Don't beat up your dad too much. He's a good guy.
And he just starts pulling at Fellhandle's ears, ear and hair, and he's like, stop! And then the baby starts laughing, but the laughter bellows and echoes. You realize that it was thaumaturgy.
Yeah, she's already got it. Just wait till she learns how to control that, and then throws a tantrum.
Oh yes, no, that's why I'm really trying to teach her patience.
I'd imagine
and
that's what
manners.
the silence spell is for.
But she kind of just kind of crawls down Fellhandle to the floor and just kind of starts walking around and stuff. She's like, I'm just gonna let her a little. She deserves it. I have no idea.
I mean, to be fair, Rosie's kind of practiced. She did raise me, so I mean, you could always just call her for guidance.
Oh no.
Well, I suppose, we should make our way to the teleportation circle.
Why, lad?
I do apologize if I'm pushing you all along too much. But you can...
It's all right. Naleek put himself in a lot of harm's way to keep us safe down there, and he was uncomfortable every bit of it. We kind of owe him this one.
You don't kind of bad. He's just kind of muttering under his breath.
Yes, we should all do this for Naleek.
No!
It is.
No!
Just look to Artem and give him a wink.
Artem just looks to Naleek, and he says, Orcs have a very, I want to say strong, debt policy. So I'm going to help you, whether you want it or not. Okay?
Man, how did you guys make me not want you guys to do this? Ugh.
Years of practice.
It's,
We've known each other
more
a
or
few
less-
months, man!
No,
Years
Arudim
of
is going to
practice.
actually go full fucking psychologist for a minute here.
Okay, please
It's probably
do.
because you don't think you deserve it, because you feel like you're a failure on the inside.
I want to roll insight
On Naleek
Go ahead,
or on...
please. By all means, you can do
on
it.
Arudim.
Okay. You know what? Roll an
Yeah,
insight
go
on the
ahead.
general situation. It'll count towards both.
Go ahead, yeah, man.
Fuck no.
It's like the
That's a 6.
Arudim is joking. He's not trying to be a psychologist. He's just trying to burn him.
Artem's pretty wise, I guess. I don't know. He's just being weird.
No, it was just a.
Maybe he finally
clever-
has a sense of humor now that he's no longer evil.
Hey, don't discount that first day on Avernus and Darkspine when you were terrorizing every other fucking devil and their mom. You weren't
Okay, to
evil.
be fair, that is so 100% him.
Okay, how are you? But to be
That's
fair,
100% him, just going like, oh, look, they think they're evil.
Isn't that cute?
and so you guys take the very long walk down the way as Naleek's trying to just like, no, this isn't about me. You guys can get out of this too.
No,
Get something
we're
out
doing
of
this for Naleek.
Arudim immediately. Well, I think it's more about the fact that we have insecurities about our own abilities and the fact that we went through hell and back literally. We're all tired, we're all exhausted, and doing this sounds like a wonderful change of pace, and especially when we can help our good friend Naleek.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, you guys can get a vacation to Celestia, and perhaps if you guys are interested in the offer from the All-Knowing, you guys can get information from me. Honestly, I really
Yeah,
think...
but I mean, the all-knowing knows when we're gonna show up.
They are all knowing.
He's just like
I
so
mean,
irritated. He knows
It's
what's
not
going
exactly
on.
like we have an appointment scheduled. It
In
would be
the
worth to
last
show
4
up to an
days.
appointment late, but seeing as we don't have one...
Besides, Naleek, in the last 4 days, have you not learned? It's kind of what makes us tick.
Suffer with our good vibes, you asshole.
He's just in silence. He's irritated because he's not going to be able to turn this around.
Nope.
You guys
Just
all
resign
eventually
yourself,
get to
Naleek. It's fine.
You guys all eventually get to the teleportation circle, and Archmage Fellhandles is like, so you all are truly ready to step off of Rieba once more, are you?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't afraid of going to hell. You know, given what I am. And then, given what I am, I'm a little bit scared of this one. I still think I'm going to burst into flames.
I've seen that happen
You
before.
probably shouldn't burst into flames. I'm going to say probably and shouldn't specifically in that order.
If they do burst you into flames, I'll have a talk. I'll write them a strongly worded letter.
Good to know. I mean, if I do burst into flames, well, hopefully the ring kind of helps. You're absolutely sure that I'm not going to burst into flames?
Like 70% sure.
Okay, let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm not afraid of fire, given the whole tiefling thing and the ring,
It's more like it's holy fire.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been hit with a radiant energy before?
I have.
I can try it now.
How much did it hurt, though?
I mean,
Like, did it hurt like, oh god, I'm going to die? Or did it hurt like, ow, fuck?
it was, well, not as bad as, it was worse than fire.
Well, naturally, tieflings seem to have an affinity for the thing. But, like, if I were to stab you in the face, or you were to get hit by radiance in the face,
Not
do you think
the
those
face.
things would be comparable?
Not the face, it's the moneymaker.
Crantor just preps a guiding bolt.
Arudim looks to all of you, and he says, I don't think I would be legally allowed to hit anywhere if it's quote-unquote the money-making that you're worried about.
What about the ankle?
Ooh, the Achilles heel.
There you
Wonderful
go.
choice. All right, lift your legs.
Castor starts rolling up his pant leg.
I'm going to slash him across the leg with my dagger, and then I'm going to hit the other leg with a sacred flame.
Oh, you know that too.
And I'm going to look at him and be like, were those pains comparable?
You know, come to think of it, you stayed within my silver tide, and that's pretty holy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Look, you're
Yeah.
fine.
It should be fine.
See?
65% sure.
Artem's going to smack you on the back of the calf and just be like, nice fishnets. And he's going to walk forward.
Thanks, mate.
And you all eventually walk into the very teleportation circle you were in earlier when the arrival of the chained devils and the child occurred. And you all stand around the sigil. And, well, be prepared to go for a little swim, you all. I'm just saying that because there's a small chance that we may not end up in a teleportation circle in Lunia, but instead in the Silver Sea.
Okay, question. Is the Silver Sea a nice place?
Oh, it is very nice, unless the Sea Elves deem you not worthy of Celestial, which you'd have to be legitimately evil. Which you'd have to be legitimately evil to not do. Oh, and you'd also have to not be able to swim. They're not going to actively harm you.
And for sweats.
Crantor, can you swim?
What's swimming?
What?
When we arrived in Avernus, we landed in a pool of red water.
Yes, but it was a very small kind of tunnel thing that Crantor was able to pull himself up on the walls of.
Not exactly a sea.
Yeah, there's nothing.
would
There's no leverage. He was able to muscles his way before. That's why it wasn't a concern.
Right. He would say, what's swimming?
He just knows climbing underwater.
Artem is going to look over to the assistant and the Archmage. I think we know what we have to do.
Anybody got a scroll of water walking?
I have the
That
spell.
and water breathing, just in case.
Guys, relax. I have the spell. All right. I just want Crantor to have new experiences. Everyone, stop babying him.
Okay,
Muscles.
first of all, that is
Naleek,
going to give him the most incredulous look.
Naleek, you're absolutely right. We should stop babying Crantor. Everybody, stop babying Naleek.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
Crantor
I'll
will
baby
echo
the
that.
giant strongman as much as I want.
It's like, all right. Anyways, let's see how this goes. Says Archmage Fellhandles, not caring anymore, and you all just start to blink and appear in a square marble crystalline room. Standing are a few elves and a few dwarves, just casually chatting about. They seem to be well armored, but they look very friendly and casual. They just, and they kind of just look back. Welcome.
Oh shit.
This is
oh shit.
only
yes.
only
What's up,
Naleek
Berchacha?
only Naleek and Crantor recognize this because they speak in Celestial. You hear a very holy, just just like
Artem.
Artem,
I should have learned Celestial before this.
Artem, is this what it was like for them when we was on Avernus?
Yes, it was. This is
No
exactly
wonder.
what their faces looked like. Hold on. And then he gives like a blank stare of incomprehension.
Naleek's like, hello, and he extends his hand. He's like, we've met before. Me and Crantor actually came by. This is the tavern, isn't it? Crantor, you're recognizing this. I will say this because we never really actually played through this part, and you guys stayed in Lunia for a few days before departing back to Rieba. And in your time there, you stayed in a few inn/taverns, and all of them had teleportation circles specifically for plane-traveling adventurers. It's just a matter of, how welcomed the people arriving are, because not every single person who arrives is the most altruistic person.
Right.
So
Crantor will just flex with holy energy.
just full and just, you recognize me. These
Crantor.
And you guys immediately feel a different energy about the air. In fact, one moment while I get this ready, because I wasn't actually ready for this to happen this session. This is cool. I'm so happy another plane's getting visited, guys. You have no idea.
We are the Planeswalkers.
Yes, but
I like this plane.
to be
That's what we do.
But the question is, when do we get our loyalty abilities?
I got that joke.
Thank you, Astro.
Okay,
I've
so
been playing way too much of that lately.
So yes, you guys are all just feeling like a general giddiness. Like, you guys are just kind of feeling high spirits. Like, kind of like you were when you were teasing Naleek, but without having to tease Naleek. You guys are just kind of that giddy. As for good aligned creatures, specifically, you are under the effects of the blessed spell while you're on this plane.
I mean, we
I'm
could
sorry,
still.
what?
Good aligned creatures.
All of us are? Oh,
No, good aligned creatures.
Yes.
yep, that's not me.
Yes, you guys are led out from this back teleportation room, and you're led through a few roundish hallways through this citadel-like structure, and you were eventually led out into this tavern area that has marble-like tables and walls made of silver. Outside the windows, you can see the glistening silver sparkles coming off of the wine-red ocean, and the stars in the sky, despite it being what looks like nighttime, are far too illuminating to have any of this be considered the dark of night. But you guys are now on Lunia.
Crantor feels very much at home. He's happy to be back on Celestia. He's even smiling.
What the fuck?
Oi, Naleek.
Yes. He says he's just so smirky. He's just grinning so hard.
I feel funny.
I bet you do.
I think that's a small hint of joy in your soul.
Naleek's going full like tour guide right now, just like
He's just
talking about everything, pointing everything out to Artem and Cassius, and just, oh, we can go here, and we can visit the pools of Serenity, and all sorts of nonsense.
Yep.
Artem is suddenly having a midlife crisis of like, maybe I picked the wrong profession. If this is where you go when you die, maybe I made a mistake.
Oh no, he's the dad on vacation.
Cassius will summon his packed weapon. Does it work? Does it work?
We'll find out next time on
Yes.
Dragon Ball
It-
Z.
It takes a moment, but it into your hands. All the same.
Longer than expected.
Artem is going to grab your face, Cassius, and he's going to say, "Look at me. Look at me.
Oh, yeah?
We're fine."
Cassius takes the packed weapon, and you notice he doesn't dismiss it. He slings it over his shoulder like he keeps his steel blade.
Artem's just going to pat you on the cheek. There we go. We're fine. So, Naleek, Crantor, you guys want to show me around? This place looks like a wonderful, nice, and oddly hypnotizing place.
Oh, it is.
You guys kind of just walk out into this tavern setting with a wide array of friendly-looking individuals of many different races. But the end of the session essentially concludes with you being led into this tavern full of elves and dwarves and halflings, even certain races such as like orcs, firbolgs. The one thing I wanted to specify before officially ending, was Cassius. You are not getting any strange looks at all.
Aw, that's nice.
That in and of itself is strange, because I get strange looks when I walk into taverns on Rieba.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's where people are actually superstitious.
Yeah. Crantor thinks back.
You were like a black cat walking under a ladder with a broken mirror on top.
And opening a black umbrella nearby, too.
Yep, and here, you're just a fancy little kitty cat.
Oh my god. I'm picturing Neanne, Cassius.
But this has been a fun session, guys. This has been a real wild. There's been a lot of exhibition.
Exhibition?
Yeah, I was gonna say exhibition.
Wow,
That was
I think
bad.
that's next episode.
That was bad. Exposition. There has been a lot of exposition.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's next episode, Advy dear.
I was promised explosions.
You were not promised no explosions.
We were promised. Oh,
Hang on.
Cassius, you want to see an explosion?
What were Advy's exact words this morning?
Wait, question. Can I use a sacred flame to make little fireworks of radiant energy?
Crantor would help with this, because he's got that same thing, too.
Okay. Advy's exact words. Oh boy, tonight will be a night of exposition. I respond, lol. Part of me read that as of explosions. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Advy responds, haha, yeah, also applicable.
Yeah, that was a swerve. That was more so to you guys in general. You guys tend to lead to a lot of things blowing up.
We are explosive personalities.
Ah,
We
you know what?
just-
There you go. Artem saved it for me.
Artem is about to actually consider believing in a god.
Can I tell you about Heracles?
Can I tell you about it? So listen.
I mean, you can, because Artem's gonna listen if a place this nice is about it.
I
I
mean,
told you about our Lord and Savior, Heracles.
Artem pulling up a chair and popcorn. You haven't. I'm
Oh.
intrigued.
we'll pull up a seat.
No, literally takes his tankard, dunks it in the silver sea. Tell me more.
I mean, we have a tavern right here. We're heading that way. You don't need to do the water.
Tell me
but
more.
Sure. He proceeds to tell him about Heracles.
Yes, this has been a very fun session. I'm glad that a lot of this stuff has gone over well. There was a lot of layers to the whole Kosil thing that weren't quite caught on to, so I was glad that you guys were going to be able to have that one-on-one conversation with Fellhandles to clarify, like, yeah, no, he was really setting things up.
Yeah, but if he kills me, that just means I win.
I think you win now.
They can shoot me dead, but the moral high ground is mine.
Aha!
Oh man, and don't worry, Crantor, your contract is not gonna be downright non-existent. I couldn't finish it in time.
Very slighted.
What if he shows up in Celestia?
What's stopping him? Y'all are making a lot of assumptions about fiends
What's stopping him from what?
showing up in Celestia.
I'm just saying that it would be kind of stupid.
Perhaps. Good
I'm
people.
He
not
just
making any
rolls up
assumptions.
and we're just like, dust this bitch!
What if Celestia's like,
low
nah,
key.
he's not doing anything wrong.
Low key, testing the pact weapon. Can Zariel reach here? Because if she can, other people can too.
Oh,
Cass ain't stupid. Cass is not stupid.
Arudim is.
Crantor's a little stupid.
We've got 1.5 himbos in the party already.
It's true.
So,
Because
yeah.
of size, does Crantor count as 2?
Yeah, so next week.
No, Crantor counts as 1 because Arudim is half a himbo.
Oh, fair enough.
So,
Because 50% of the time he's right, 50% of the wrong he's horribly wrong.
so I just want
Well,
to say
I feel like
this-
I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm gonna go.
Oh, no, don't do that. And so, thank you all for coming by. We appreciate you stopping in, and we hope you do so next week. Peace out, bye.
Bye.
Asta.
Later.